Non-immediate threat. An inmate is a non-immediate threat at the moment, but could turn into a threat. What do we do? And remember, I did not say non-violent inmate, because at any given time, any inmate can become violent. So non-immediate threat. Thanks for watching. I'm Gary York. Please subscribe if you like this video. Today I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about non-immediate threat. There are several different types of threat that we deal with in our job in corrections, but I want to talk about non-immediate threat and how it can turn into a deadly situation if we allow it to. And I've seen it happen. Now, first of all, I just want to tell some of my viewers that I don't think I've said this before. I have 14.5 years on the floor in uniform, and I have 14 years in plain clothes, 2 years as a felony probation officer and 12 years as a prison inspector. So my point is, there are many of you with much more floor experience than I have. You've got 20 years, 25 years. I know people with 30 years floor experience. So by all means, I am not here to tell you that I know everything and I've done everything. I do these videos so we can just discuss situations and try to figure out what we need to do. And if I've seen something happen from one side, the other, or both sides, I can describe it to you, like I'm going to do today on this situation. Now, an inmate is ordered to go get the mop and mop up the house, the dorm, if you're in the jail, the pod. And the inmate says, "Fuck you, I'm not doing it," and leaves and goes up to his cell. Okay, he went back to his cell. Now in the jail, sometimes when they go back in their cell and shut the cell door, or the cell door, you can hit a button and lock him in. And in prisons, we have dorms. Some are open bay, some are closed, so sometimes you can't lock them in. But here's the thing, folks. I've seen too many cases where the inmate says, "Fuck you, I'm not going to do it." And the officer goes after the inmate, alone, by themselves. I understand there's self-pride. There's, "You're not going to do that to me in front of the other inmates." Well, no, he's not going to do that, and he's not going to get away with it. But don't go after him. When they walked away from you, I have seen situations where in a jail, now this was a juvenile, I'm going to give you a juvenile pod, because we have, in the jails, you have all different classifications and different pods. So this was a juvenile pod. They're already a different story and hard to handle, but an inmate, juvenile inmate, was just going berserk, jumping all over the tables and everything, and he was told to lock down. He told them, "F you, I'm not going to do it." And the two officers tried to get him, and he laughed and ran. And then he finally ran into his cell. And the control room officer, locked it. Okay, he's in his cell now, folks. Let's get back, calm everything down. Let's get back. We're going to do some paperwork. We're going to write him up. We're going to take care of the situation. But no, these two veterans, and I knew both of them. I worked with one in the state prison system before we both had gone over to the sheriff's department. And the other gentleman actually also worked in the state prison system as well for many years before coming to the jail. And they went up to the cell door, called the control room officer, said, "Pop 53," or whatever the cell door number is. Per their order, the control room officer popped the cell door open. They went and grabbed the juvenile. Juvenile spit in their face. So, spit in the face, immediate reaction, that's an assault. You get spit in the face, bam, bam. Well, this is all on video, folks. They also were told, and let this be a lesson, they were also told that they're under investigation for what they did, that once the inmate was in the cell, they should have just calmed everything down, went back, called the sergeant, say, "I got one up here we're going to have to deal with. I'm going to start writing up the paperwork now, and let's deal with this inmate, this juvenile inmate." and take care of the problem. We may have to move him. We may have to put him on lockdown. We may have to do something. But when they just went straight up there and opened and popped that cell door, that's where all the trouble began. And this is where their career went down the tubes. Now, these guys had 16 and 18 years, I believe, something like that. They would be retired like me right now. I retired less than a year ago. And they would be at home, retired, collecting a pension. What they did was they were brought into the captain's office after the investigation and told, here's your reports, gentlemen, that you wrote, your incident reports. Here's the video. I'm leaving the room. I'm going to allow you to watch this video and rewrite your reports. Okay? And that's all he said. He didn't tell them how to write the report. Didn't tell them, you write it this time and tell the truth. I thought that was very fair of management. Very fair. They stuck to their guns, were stubborn. Captain came back in a while later. Okay, what we got? There we are, sir. Here's our reports, same ones we turned in before, and we stick by that. Well, folks, those reports don't match the video. Don't get yourself in this kind of trouble. They were both, I believe they were allowed to resign rather than be terminated. They let them resign. But anyway, folks, come on. Don't let a non-immediate threat take your job from you. Okay? And if you have an inmate run off and go away, and he's not an immediate threat to another inmate, to you or anything, or he's not tearing up property, let's just go ahead, get everything calmed down, get on the radio for backup, let everybody know what's going on, and we're gonna take care of the situation. All you folks know that. All you folks been around a while know we'll take care of the situation. We will not let the inmate get away with saying, fuck you, I'm not gonna do that. But by you or you and another officer saying, he's not doing that to me, you know, and get the old kick-ass attitude, listen, it's going to put you in a bind. Because you're going after an inmate who's left the area. He's leaving you and he's not harming anybody. And when you go over there to kick his ass, I'm just going to use plain old language, when you go over there to kick his ass, you could put yourself in a bind. Probably will. I've seen it happen more than once where officers lose their job over some verbal communication issues that didn't go well, and the inmate leaves the area. Don't. Let's take care of them with some paperwork. Let's take care of them with some, we call it confinement here in Florida. We lock them down in the jails if we have to in a single-man cell. But let's do it that way, rather than lose our jobs over an inmate. It's not worth it, folks. Okay? So thanks a lot for listening. Just a little bit about non-immediate threat inmates and how to keep our jobs. And we'll get them in the end, folks. We'll get them. They'll get their discipline one way or another. Thank you very much for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories.